Okay, and welcome to Simufur's 4th round of the night. You're here with me, Snowdog, and tonight, for the very first time, he is trying commentary. Zizi, say hello.
I'm 5 seconds after you started the commentary, so I can get caught up now. Let's see, who's the fastest in practice? Snooty McFlude.
So far it is Snooty McFlude.
That's the Porsches are some Porsche in the grass, which is typical of the few races I tried this season before saying no. I'd rather talk about it than drive it instead.
So tonight we come to you guys live from Brands Hatch, one of the more famous British circuits. Obviously you can't forget Silverstone, but we're not there in this series, not yet anyway.
Probably it's only Silverstone and Brands Hatch for everyone, let's be real.
Yeah, yeah. But we have about 6 minutes left of free practice before we go into qualifying. Hopefully we're going to see some great racing tonight. There's no rain predicted for this one, so hopefully the drivers don't have to sweat it out as much.
Oh no, these cars are a handful.
They definitely have proven to be a handful, especially with what we saw at Kyalami a few weeks ago.
Yeah, especially when you don't practice and try to drive these things with no traction control. It's an experience.
Sadly, it's not something I can comment on the experience of driving it, but just watching various people around the track, you know.
It's like ice skating, but you only have one leg.
It's like ice skating with one leg. Excellent.
Yeah, that's the analogy I'll use for that.
So we'll see how these drivers get on tonight then, with only their one leg to ice skate on. Hopefully they gain another leg. Deeds almost lost a leg. They're coming through Clark Curve. They're coming onto the start-finish straight.
Stuck the leg out real far.
Exactly. This corner that Deeds has gone round now, the Paddock Hill bends, that is one corner that a lot of drivers have been a little bit apprehensive of, shall we say.
Especially in this car, I'd imagine it's more of, let's just oversteer or understeer directly into the sand. That's pretty much what's going to go on there if you're not careful in these machines with no traction control.
Exactly. We'll see.
Because you think you can eat it into that bend way faster than you can every time, and you'll learn every time. And hey, there's a lot of sand and a wall there.
Exactly. There's a lot of runoff space. It's a lot of time to get back on track to reflect on what you've done.
Yes, especially when you're spinning your tires in the sand, because again, no traction control.
Yeah. And it seems to be, we have a few people here tonight who are either returning or they're brand new. So on the screen now, you can see Pingu. He's actually missed a couple of weeks, but he's back on track now at Brands Hatch, hoping to keep hold of or regain his title. He's got Nemay to overtake, but I don't think Nemay's in at the moment. We'll see if he turns up later on tonight. Brand new, excuse me, brand new to the track is Electroshocks in car number 75. As you can see, he's already taken a bit of a battering. Also got Grim there trying to get by, but as you can clearly experience here, it's not a very wide circuit.
It's not. You British people love your narrow roads.
That's the thing, you say that, but then you get to a track like Silverstone and you've got so much track to use up, you need binoculars to see the other car.
Yeah, I'm just used to, the American highways where, your next person is 50 million feet away from you.
So there we have it then, Electroshocks, brand new to us tonight, car number 75. Let's go back through some of the other people as well. So we've got another newbie here as well. It's Palik. It's Pally. We're going to call him Pally because I can't say the rest of his name properly. But car number 71. So he's hoping to. He's running in silver class, I believe, tonight. So we'll see where he ends up.
Currently third fastest, so looks like you should be doing good out there.
Yeah, not too bad so far, but it's definitely Snooty holding the absolute fastest lap with a 1:26.4 at the moment. And Leftism or Phil, who's in the pits now here, as P number 2, but there are cars still out improving. In fact, it's this lad here, Caffey, the 992, driving the 992. It's just gone in with a 1:26.3, so work to be done there. But then again, this is free practice. It could all change at qualifying.
It always does.
Let's see if we can catch a car who's just about to start a lap. Who else is out on track? Car number 115 is Grim Lilith, RB's very own Grim Lilith, along with Leftism as well, and car number 225. And I believe tonight we also have Seffi in car number 22 back for another round. Seffi is currently, she's here in the pits now. She's currently leading the AM class, so...
No, that would be Kamir's 17th.
Oh, excuse me. Like. It is Kamir's, isn't it? And then Seffi's second. There we go. There's that one. Who else have we got? Looking at teams now. Aha. Nope, wait. Aha. We've got car number 604, Kvetch Motorsports. Team leader Sarah here. She's in her own livery. One thing to note with the KM liveries is that it's almost unique to the driver, just with KM on it. So we can see Sarah there. I believe, nope, Cameras is running his own livery tonight. However, we do have Skylar Vixen in car number 660. You can see her livery there is a little bit different to Sarah's, in the sense that her KM logo is purple, because that's her favourite colour. Let's have a look going back through the grids. It is Blade Wolf, car number 42, also running a KM livery tonight. Blade Wolf missed last week, I believe, but he's back tonight to give Brands Hatch a go. One of his favourite tracks, very good at it as well as Blaze, but has never taken the Porsche Cup
track to drive.
It is. It's looking like a fun track to drive as well. Seems like we're not going to get a drive round the corners.
I know the GT3 Porsche is good around here. Don't know about this Porsche though.
GT3 Porsche is pretty good. I've had it out for a couple of laps, but nothing serious enough to, to really gauge what it's like here myself.
Yeah, I mean, I mean it. It's pretty good around here. Just short tracks, sweeping curves. That's where Porsches are happy.
And There we go. Blade Wolf decides to call it a day after setting a 1:27.9.
Practice ending. Just going back to the pits, waiting for qualifying.
That's it. Still have a couple of people that are trying at the moment. We have Nick out on track, who's not quite defeating his time. He's about 6 seconds down. Sorry, he's about 700ths of a second down on his time. So he's not improved there. But P14 out of 23 at the moment is still a good position to hold. But anyway, we come to qualifying. Who's going to go out first? We're going to... It looks
drag race out the pits.
It looks like it might be Grim. It is going to be Grim out first. In car number 115. We're going to let him warm up his tyres like a lot of the drivers are doing now. A lot of the drivers have come out in quite a bit of a pack, so knowing that this is a tight track, hopefully they will leave space for each other to qualify. But once Grim gets round his warm-up lap, we're going to go on board with him, and we're going to go through all the corners that these drivers have to face, including the illustrious turn 1.
Elf. Ooh, bit of a wiggle there. The tires, my stream is a bit laggy.
Yeah, I'm noticing that as well. I was watching the official YouTube video. Hopefully, hopefully it will sort itself out.
Hopefully. Doesn't help that it's originating in the UK and I'm all the way across an ocean.
We seem to have a little bit of a pack of cars there. Let's see who that is, if we can. Some cars following each other quite closely so far. Anyway, Grim's probably... Oh, there he is. He's coming on to the start-finish straight now. So here we go, round Paddock Hill Bend. As you can see, it's a difficult corner to negotiate, but he does manage it to stay out so far. It's still a valid lap.
Keeps it just in.
Round the hairpin, that's Druids, I believe. We're going on to Graham Hill next. Nice left-hander there. A couple of people already taking out the cones, but needless to say, he's got round it safely. Currently on now then to
Surtees?
It is Surtees, yes. I'm struggling to keep up with him.
It's going down Pilgrim's Drop. I don't know what Pilgrims are doing in the UK, but apparently they're dropping.
Apparently they are dropping all the way into Hawthorne Bend as we stay on board with Grim Lilith.
And down Derek Minter Straight, which is a shorter straight than the lane is.
Next up, the Westfield Bend into the...
Dingledell? Who names these tracks?
Oh no, we've fallen behind. He's actually on clearways at the moment coming into Clark Curve. So Westfield Bend, Dingledell and Sheens is almost pretty much the one short corner.
It's pretty much just one corner that they gave 3 names for because why not?
Exactly. Why not? But there goes Grim then with a 1:27.065, but immediately bested by Pingu.
Someone off the dirt there when he was coming down.
I believe that was Shocks in car number 75. He's... Yep, there he goes. He's got the car going again. So currently
he's
it's...
done the good old-fashioned oversteering in that corner because he went in way too fast, I guarantee it.
Probably did. But nevertheless...
I do it all the time.
We've got a couple of other yellow flags as well. We've got Saber who, yep, that is the first corner, and I believe it was Skylar on the first corner as well. But currently holding P1's this young lad. This is Pingu, number 722. He's back to claim his title. Let's see, who else have we got? So Grim currently holding P2. Joker has gone into P3. With a 1:27.3 with Pally in P4 so far with a 1:27.3 as well. Just thousandths off a second off Joker. Next up in P5, so far is Leftism, or Phil as we know him, and then it is Dipping Sauce. Dipping Sauce, very famous in the GT3 races to drive a Jaguar, so this will be something a bit different for him. He's doing well so far though, currently on a 1:27.660. Back again for another go at it, bit bumpy there, but it is Danny in car number 44. Got someone who's lost it on turn 1, I believe that is Deeds. There we go on turn 1. Turn 1 claiming many victims already with just 9 minutes to go in qualifying.
Just as I predicted. Turn 1 on this track, no traction control. If you're not careful on that throttle, you're just gonna spin it into the dirt, which we've seen multiple times.
100%. And here we go again with car number 69. The famous car number 69
Nice.
is Wushu. Very nice indeed as she goes through the open left hairpin, of which the name I've forgotten.
So, silly something British name.
Surtees?
I don't
It must
even.
be.
I wasn't paying attention.
It must be, because here we go through Hawthorne Bend. Let's have a look now. So the section that we missed then, so Hawthorne Bend is
There.
this bit here, and then through to Westfield, Dingle and Sheens. Ooh, very close
car.
indeed to, I believe that
Then
was
the-
Sarah.
Sterling's.
And here she goes then round the final corner around Clark. Look at the steering wheel work as she's going through that bend. She's fighting that car. There's going to be an
you have to.
improvement though. And here we go. That is all the way on to P4 as we see.
Wiggle the steering wheel there. She comes down that first corner. This nice sharp hairpin turn. It's a relaxing corner.
It is quite a relaxing corner, but I suppose it's relaxing to watch Bushell drive the car. I mean, she's used to the Porsche, so she knows the characteristics of a Porsche.
Well, this Porsche has, well, to me, has very different characteristics of the GT3 Porsche, but that's just me, and I'm not the driver which knows. I'm very, very far behind down the grid from her if I participate.
I think there's quite a lot of us that can say we're not quite the Porsche drivers that Wushu is. She definitely knows her stuff when it comes to it. There we go, Ty and Fox, currently in P5 at the moment. Just went a little bit apprehensively into turn 1 and took the long way around.
We should just have Queen standing in that field, just thinking another one bites the dust over and over again for the entirety of the race.
Yeah. Well, so let's go a little bit further down the pack then. Let's go into the silver section. So currently, we just saw her. Wushu leads the silver section. Oh no, excuse me. It is Grim that leads the silver section currently, who's holding P4 tonight in the Porsche. It's worth noting, watching Grim's steering inputs, that Grim is actually on a controller.
He's a mad lad who's quick as hell on a controller, so props to him. Recently won the AM Championship here at Simufur 2. Also using a controller in a Porsche, so he certainly knows what he is doing with that controller and a Porsche.
Look at those cat-like reflexes in the wheel. It makes you nervous watching him, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. On a stick, when I used to do controller, he's barely moving it, but the game just doesn't like when you use the controller. The stick movements make the steering wheel, or no, perspective, look all janky and hilarious.
Very much so, but nevertheless, he's getting the work done. Is Grim still P4 at the moment? Who else?
Yeah, the only time I can read is Pingu's 125.8 currently leading number 1, and the rest is all blurred to me because the stream is suddenly in 2p. Oh, so suddenly, as soon as I say it, I can read more numbers. If I install the stream, it works better.
And we've missed a newbie as well, actually, tonight. We've forgot to catch up with them in practice. It's this lad, it's car number 333, Jinx. Brand new to the Simufur grid. Has decided to join us in the Porsche Cup of all cars. A bit of a mad lad for taking that one on there.
Oh, mid-pack, doing pretty good. First time around.
So far, so good. Still only 23 cars on the track, so not a lot of people coming to this one.
It's a good bit still for a smaller, one of our smaller championships. Especially in a car that is very annoying to drive. Especially when you don't practice and go on a track and then wreck.
Yeah. that is the worst possible way forward.
Yeah, which is why now I want to sit here instead of out there.
So continuing down to have a look at silver class. So currently P2 in silver class is we lost.
It's currently Grim now. Looks like it
is, yeah, because this guy who we were just going on to left us and has just moved into P1 in silver class, but P3 overall. So that is both RV drivers, top 3 for silver class so far. P3 in silver class now is held by Dipping Sauce, who's holding 8th overall. Goes a little bit wide into Druids there, but rescues it all the same. He is on an invalid. Goodness gracious. He is on an invalid lap and it relieved the internet. Starting to take a bit of a breath there.
Yeah, my stream is taking a bit of a dive into not just eye to the every crowd, but suddenly back on the track. That makes sense. Let's keep watching.
Hopefully there's no more. Hopefully there's no more of that through the race. Nevertheless, though, Dip is trying to get back up to speed, but with it being a tight circuit, he does have to move over and let people pass that are on valid laps. Worth noting as well, actually, Nick has just pushed into P2 for silver class, P4 overall, so that is Grim all the way down to P3, the final podium position so far for silver. Before we have a look at the AM class are very much bunched up together at the moment. Currently leading AM class here is car number 77, Cameras, with the McDonald's livery Porsche. Go McDonald's.
He's loving it.
He is very much loving it, being at the top of AM class right now. P2 in AM class is currently taken by Skylar in car number 660 with a 129.7.
Looks like she's just in the pits. Gonna take the time she already has.
Exactly.
Looks like Cameras just moved up a few more spots in the P17, furthering himself a bit from the rest of the AM pack.
Yes, indeed. He's taken over 2 silver drivers, and that would be Jamie, car number 303, and Bracken, car number 95 at the moment. However, both Jamie and Bracken are on to improve their laps slightly, so we'll see where they can go. In fact, Cameras is also majorly on an improvement.
I have 2 minutes of qualifying left. That's what everyone's pushing for their fastest time, so let's see how the board moves, if at all. I imagine the back half of the board will move a bit, while the top half looks pretty set in at this point.
Pretty sure it is, yeah. I mean, I wonder... Well, I don't think they've got the time to do it now, but I was going to say, will Skylar and, in fact, Sarah come out the pits and try again for another time, but I'm pretty sure
I'm pretty sure this is the point where they're going to just take their starting positions and go. That's what I usually see from them.
Yeah.
Mostly the same thing I do, is sit in the pits for the last couple minutes because I'm already stressed enough. I do better in a race than qualifying. A bit of off-roading there in a Porsche. Not the Porsche you want to take off-roading. You get a Cayenne for that, but you know. Seem to survive that.
To be fair, I do the same thing. I put in like 3 or 4 banker laps, get stressed out with it, and then spend the rest of the time de-stressing in the pits before we go racing.
Yeah, then we go racing. I always seem to be better. I put better laps in actually racing than I do qualifying every single time, and it makes me mad.
I find that as well. The race pace is a lot quicker than the qualifying pace, probably because you're concentrating on like just chasing someone for the position, so naturally you're driving the car
usually
quicker.
with us chasing each other.
Yep, usually it is us on track together. Hopefully we'll see that again come the next GT3 or even GT4 season.
Yep. Hopefully GT3 was GT4. I need to completely rework my Camaro since the update.
It's funny saying
Because
that.
I had to pick the American one.
It's funny saying that. The Aston Martin still performs very well on base aggressive setup for me, so hopefully...
I haven't driven a GT4 car yet since the update, so...
Apparently the Porsche... What is that track car? Okay, Bracken's just stopped there. I was going to say, that's not allowed. But nevertheless, that is Bracken coming back to the pits. Let's call it a day there for now.
Yeah, I had to go kiss a wall first before going to the pits, you know, just for good luck. Gotta caress the track. Let them know that you're there.
The next up to come across the line then on their final lap of qualifying is Cafe, currently P3 with a 126.3. It is still Pingu very much at the top with a 125.3. I don't know how he's pulled that out, but my god, that lad is quick. He is definitely back with a vengeance, is Pingu. And here we go then, Cafe comes across the line and pushes Snooty down to P3 and takes P2 instead. Fantastic lap.
Right then. It always sucks when you're on the receiving end of that, but for Cafe, he's enjoying it. Or she or they didn't look before the race, my bad.
Who else is out? We've got Joker out at the moment, although Joker isn't improving on his time. Oh,
this is going right.
He is coming
there,
in.
looks like doing it all professional like, no using no menus. He's getting this real racing experience out here.
Oh, there we go. So
like everyone's in the pits, who's ready to go over to race time.
There we are. So P1 will be Pingu, P2 will be Cafe. You can't really see it from these views, so we'll try it from these views. And P3 is Snooty. Nevertheless, though, I mean, it could all go completely differently after lap 1. Not to mention, after this race, the 20-minute sprint race, we go on to the feature race where the whole grid is reversed.
Yep, I did not enjoy that last week. That's why in the rain.
I can assure you, I enjoyed it very much, along with a few other people
I
as well.
I enjoyed it for a lap, and then I didn't enjoy it soon after. Or I went, I'm gonna push hard and try to win, and then no, that did not work.
So I think we're sat here for a few more minutes before we then go on to the start-finish, the start grid, where we'll be on board with Pingu, watching him on the onboard lap before we go into the race. I worry for the back of the grid more than the front of the grid. I think the front of the grid are going to be alright, but the back half of the grid, we might see a little bit of a traffic jam coming into turn 1.
Most likely.
Right, I'm just going to be right back just a few minutes before we go live to the track.
Alright, everyone grab your snacks, go to the bathroom. We'll be going live at the race here in a couple. Alright, looks like it's about to... Everyone's getting on the grid. 3 minutes until start.
Okay, let's get ready to go then. So here we go. We are on our grid lineup. Let's go quickly down the lineup then. So
Just noticed Kamir must have put on one last lap there at the end of it. I didn't notice. He's up to P15 and way ahead of the rest of the AMP pack now.
oh, so he is. I can't believe we missed that. Nevertheless, we're getting down to the 30-second mark. You'll start hearing these drivers' engines come to life any minute now. A few of them still there in the setups.
Yep. Should have all just be hitting the good old button to go now. You know, the car started and take off for the out lap.
Seconds.
It's worth noting then that if you don't get out of the setup menus by the time you get the go for this, you get immediately teleported to the pits, but that doesn't look like the case. Every driver gets to start so far.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, a bit swirly off the line, these things. Ooh, a bit swirly back there.
it seems like everybody's getting a bit squirrely as they come off the line.
Yeah, especially when you're flooring it to get it going, and then you over-rev it, and then you take off, and then it spins in no traction control, and you go, whee! You know, for personal experience.
It's not uncommon to see a car sort of come off after the start finish, or sorry, during the out lap. There was someone who went a little bit wrong at the start finish straight, but unfortunately we didn't catch it. But nevertheless, it's Pingu that leads the warm up lap. What is, goodness gracious me.
The internet is not being happy right now. We're starting this track. We're starting this race in the crowd this week.
Seems like Pingu found an unexpected bump in the track. It is a British track, so it probably is full of potholes.
I'm used to that over here in the US too, in good old Pennsylvania.
Tell you
all
what,
the
though,
seasons, and that doesn't good for the roads.
good grief.
We famously here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, had a sinkhole open up and eat a bus. And that was actually right downtown, and right in front of the West Hotel, where a bunch of furs will be this upcoming weekend, me included, for Anthrocon. It's fixed now.
Hopefully so it's fixed now, because I mean we don't We don't want that going on through the race. Nevertheless, though, the cars are beginning to come up to the final couple of turns before the start-finish straight. You'll notice now that they all start to gather into the 2x2 formation they started in. Everybody getting a bit of a wiggle on just to get that final bit of warm-up into the tyres.
Yeah, especially needed in cars without traction control. We rely on the tires a whole lot more. Coming around the final bend here, up to the start-finish line.
And it's round about now they'll start getting told to speed up to about 50 mile an hour or 70 kilometers an hour.
It's about 42 miles an hour.
42 miles an hour. Nevertheless, though, they are in front of the green lights again.
Yep, it's one of the few Americans who race in this server. I know that because I need my freedom units per hour to be able to race.
And off we go then into the start of race 1 round Brands Hatch. It is Pingu that leads from Caffey and Snooty. The rest of the pack getting round turn 1 very cleanly indeed.
Relatively clean. That's nice. Everyone's down without a wreck on turn 1. Congratulations.
Down into Druids as well. It looks like it's Saber that's lost it. No, it's Joker that's lost it, excuse me. And down, down, down he goes onto the rest of the grid. Nevertheless,
looks like he didn't see who he hit, but it looks like he mostly took himself out there.
Nevertheless,
coming off those corners, get on the throttle too quickly in these cars will cause that. Especially early in the race, trying to out-drag your opponent next to you. Something to look out for in the early laps where everyone is bunched up.
Oh, and it seems that Danny lost it coming out of one of the corners as well. He is all over the place coming back onto the track. Luckily, he finds a space to get back on again. But nevertheless, look at the positions he lost there. He's all the way down to 12th place now.
Let's say if you're joining, it's better reckoning the last, I reckon.
Let's see what else is going on. So he's going to have to... He's immediately being challenged by Saber Kitsune in the 5-2-3. Or someone's come into the pits. He's come into the pits already, has Danny. And I'm wondering there if he's hopefully not called it a night already.
And if he did, bud, I feel you. It was me last week.
So there we go. Danny comes in for a short pit stop, but nevertheless, Pingu has already opened the gap to 1.3 seconds from Caffey, who's actually currently being challenged by Snooty.
But that's just going to extend Pingu's lead even more as Caffey tries to hold off Snooty.
As well as Phil, Leftism and Grim, 2 RB cars, but there seems to be a fight also going on slightly further down the pack as people try and catch up with Grim. It's Jinx who's immediately going to be chasing Grim for position, but he's also being challenged by Nick and Wusho as well. There's a few of the cars that are still very, very bunched up together. It'd be interesting to see what overtakes try and happen between these cars so far.
I imagine to go a few laps to each other's lines and we'll see them move in a lap or two.
And currently, needless to say, it is still Jamie that has apparently set the fastest lap. Not sure what happened there, but Danny has indeed returned to the track. He's not given up, he's repaired the damage. He's 7 seconds away from Shocks here, who's also seems to have lost it, taken a massive, massive dent to the car. He's chasing Sarah at the moment.
Let's see if he'll repair that damage or just soldier on with the race as short as this. Danny probably going for take the pit, just get a low position and get the high position to start next race in the reverse grid. Get some points there.
That's one thing that can definitely help the drivers out. If they do obviously wreck it and damage the cars, they can be safe in the fact that knowing that they're going to start in P1 this next race. So like obviously we've got Sarah and Shocks here who are fighting for position, but If they keep where they are, that's a P2 and a P3. Meanwhile, Cammers seems to have lost it.
Ooh.
Coming into Dingle Dell, I believe it is as well. He does get going again.
He hung out to Dingleberry. It's on Dingle Dell.
I think we should just call that whole section Dingle Dell because, to be quite honest,
It is the best name of them than all the names given there.
it definitely is. Who's that up ahead though? It's Joker going for an overtake on 2 cars. So he's got Bracken there.
Pulled it off on Bracken. 1 more car to go.
He's immediately got Bracken
good
there.
race in that group.
Yeah, he's got Skylar to go in turn 1. Let's see what's going to happen in turn 1. Skylar goes a little bit to the outside. Joker gets a much better exit as they come down into Druids, and it's Joker that goes on the inside of Skylar there.
Taking that position there. I'm just watching a frozen car on the screen. Come on, internet. There it goes.
What you missed there is Bracken almost nearly had a go up the inside, but it looks like he's going to try and have another go again sometime soon.
Yeah, he's eyeing for a move, it looks like. Feinting in and out on Skylar. Trying to see if he can find any gap to get his nose in and get
inside,
past.
there it goes.
Taking the inside, going too wide, and he comes out in front on the other side.
Just in time to get through the Dingle Dell section again then, so here we go round that, this little kink here. It catches a lot of drivers out in the APAC system, in the APAC series actually. Unfortunately this car, that corner exactly, caught Skylar out several times within the same race. It wasn't her favourite corner. She seems to have mastered it now whilst driving a car that is more difficult to drive than the Honda GT3. But nevertheless, Bracken has taken the position and immediately opened up the gap.
We're going to chase Joker back down. While Kamir slowly works his way back up to try to gain on Skylar for AM pole.
Who else have we got further down the grid? We've got Blade Wolf currently travelling in P19 at the moment. He's lost a couple of positions there.
Not usual seeing him in the back.
No, definitely not.
He's usually a master of recovery drives anyway, so we'll see him near the top near the end, I guarantee it.
See what happens. He's got 13 minutes to make that position back up again.
And not a lot of time, but I know in GT3 I've seen him charge from the back after accidents up to podium positions. So you can do it. If anyone can, it'd be Blade.
Certainly can. And we have another off, it seems. We've got Sarah coming victim of not turn 1, but the exit of turn 2. Nevertheless, she gets going again, and maybe
Too
not.
much on the throttle, maybe? Damage from the previous off.
Oh, she's pulled
back
immediately to the pits, so maybe she might sit out and wait for the next one.
Looks like that's the plan.
Back up in front then, we've got Caffey and Snooty going toe to toe as they come through the open left hairpin.
Fighting hard for second place, these two. They've been pretty much this close the whole race. Pingu just keeps taking off as they fight.
That's
Pingu
it.
definitely. Barring with 12 minutes left, barring any bad accidents, Pingu might have this one.
It certainly seems like it.
It looks like Calf starting to open up a gap to Snooty.
And we currently have, it's less than a second, but it's definitely building up. But needless to say, Pingu is 3.8 seconds ahead of Caffey at the moment.
With 11 minutes to go, it's going to be a lot it's a big gap, especially when you're trying to keep Snooty off the tail.
One thing I definitely want to pay attention to is this little pack of cars here, this train of cars coming through turn 1 at the moment. And they're all fighting each other for position, so they're going to be trying desperately hard to keep it straight through turn 1. Wushel closes the gap tremendously on Nick coming out of Druids there.
Yep, basically getting on his bumper there. He goes off in the grass. Wushel closes the gap again. Interesting pack to watch. Oh, there goes the internet again. Nope, never mind, here it comes.
Who else have we got here? We've got Grim, who's just actually overtaken Jinx for P4, but Jinx isn't giving up easily then. We come on to Surtees through to the Dingledale section now.
They're right on each other.
Bit of a questionable line through the corner. I wonder if we'll see anyone get done for track cuts. But that was a good line through that one, though. You're expected to cut some of the track off.
A nice block there. Remember, Grim just on a controller. Oh, looks like Jinx went into the grass a bit there, giving Grim just a bit more room, breathing room here for a steal.
Who else have we got? Slightly further down, Jinx again going for it in turn 1, looking at the inside, but Grim's got it almost well defended. The two of them come drifting round that corner. There's no position change yet, but it's not going to stop Jinx from having a go as they go into the Druids hairpin. Meanwhile, all this time they're fighting, it's allowing Leftism to just close that gap bit by bit.
These two are basically driving off of each other right now. Attack and defend,
so.
Attack and defend. Ooh, going for another inside move.
Oh.
Looks like Jinx is a fan of the inside move on most of the attacks he's tried so far. Except for here, going on the outside to make me look stupid. Thank you.
Very good defensive move so far from Grim, though. Needless to say, if any of these two lose it now, they've got about 6 cars that are going to overtake them. So
they best be careful. Grim's own teammates ready to pounce if they take each other out there. So
that was almost a very brave move going for the inside on Dingledale. Look at the rest of the pack though that are catching up. You've got Leftism, Nick, Wushel, all catching up there, with Dip just 2 seconds behind, is also being chased by Tyan and Pally.
Good pack to watch here, especially as the time ticks down. As we all know, even though we shouldn't, everyone clock watches, and everyone's going to try to make a position as soon as they can as this time winds down here in race number 1.
Let's have a look at this. Leftism looks at bit of a dink there. It's good racing from these three so far.
Jinx is in a RV sandwich right now.
And all these little mistakes that they're making coming out through the corner as well, it connects all the way back to allowing Nick to have a bit of a go at positions. Jinx again looks at the inside of Grim, but doesn't quite make it happen. These 3 cars are all trying to take one another, and it could end up being Nick that gets to pick up the pieces.
Very close racing here. Hopefully they keep it clean this last 7 minutes.
We're just gonna go slightly.
Right at the bumper there.
Just gonna go slightly further down the pack a minute. There's 2 other cars that are fighting it out for position. It's Tyan Fox and Pally for the final position of the top 10. Tyan Fox is there in car number 55, just behind Dipping Sauce. There's another 3-way race going on between them.
Happens in turn 1.
Blue flag.
Like...
Oh, that Shocks there, who's under blue flag, so he's got to get out of the way of everyone. Takes a very respectful wide line through Druids, just allows everyone through safely.
And that leads Tyan and Dipping to pull away from Pally, who was on their tail, but got caught up a bit with the blue flag car. Grim still holding on. Jinx still right on his tail. Going on the inside, looking on the outside. feinting every which way, trying to get Grim off his game.
Oh, and a bit of a trip up there again. Don't worry, the cars will sort themselves out, it seems. That's...
You know, the Matrix is having the glitch. Just give us a second. Call Nia real quick.
First time we've seen that in a long time though, through all the streams that I've done here. Let's go back up the grids a little bit. So Snooty McFluids has indeed overtaken Caffey for P2, and now tries to work on the gap to Pingu, but...
Well, big old Jimmy Johnson 48 on the side.
Nevertheless, Pingu is gone. All the time that Snooty's trying to close the gap, Pingu just keeps on opening that gap up.
Pingu is on a nice Sunday drive at this point. Snooty and Cafe fought for too long and he just pulled away.
Potentially that as well, but it seems like with the gap to Snooty and Cafe, it seems that Cafe might have had an off as well at some point.
Possibly.
Nevertheless,
they were racing pretty hard when we watched them earlier, so.
Very much so. Nevertheless, there's only a 2.9 second gap. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it looks like Jinx has got Grim.
Let's see. It has, yeah. Jinx has indeed got Grim, and it's now down to Leftism. The two RB teammates racing each other for P5, excuse me, at the moment. Again, very closely watched by Nick.
That was a line there.
That was definitely a line.
Using the gutter trick there, Grim. That was a bit of trying to catch back up to Jinx to get his position back.
What
Still
else?
leading the Silvers.
Go a little bit further back there. It seems that Nick is forever closing the gap as well now on Leftism. He was at a stage where he was 0.1 behind. He's 0.2, so he is looking to make an overtake. Potentially to take two RB cars in one, but we'll see if Grim can continue to pull away from Leftism. 3 cars have called it a day and come into the pits now. That's Danny, Cameras and Sarah.
I think Cameras must have had enough. He was leading the AMs for a while.
He definitely was, but now it's
what happened
currently
there.
Skylar Vixen leading the AM class with Blade Wolf chasing. Let's have a look at them a minute. So, to put it into perspective, oh, Jamie's lost it, just slightly ahead, but he keeps the gap open to Bracken. So Bracken is 10 seconds ahead of Skylar at the moment, who's being chased by Blade Wolf, who's forever closing the gap. So we can see Bracken's got a bit of a gap to him there. Just in nice clean air, able to keep hold of P16 and just get it done.
Most likely a cruise to the end with about 2.5 minutes left of the race.
Definitely so, but that is Jamie just ahead of him. I'm not sure if the timing's quite right there, but that is I believe that is a 2-second gap between Bracken and Jamie, so there is something for Bracken.
And again, you give me all that information because all the timings are blurry on my screen. I can't read this.
Dip's lost it now. He's lost it coming out of turn. I know he's lost it coming onto the start-finish straight. That's not a fun position to lose it on, especially coming down to the first corner. It's a nice wide bit of track.
That's one of the few corners where there's not much runoff and you will hit a wall, as the Beach Sauce unfortunately did there.
Very safely round turn 1 it is as well. Needless to say though, coming through turn 1 as well is Blade Wolf and Skylar. So Skylar then an AM class defending off one of the silver class, and it's Bracken that seems to have lost it as well, just coming off of Druids. You can see him just there, so...
Yeah, it's easy to in these cars without traction control. If you
definitely is.
If you get on, if you get on too much throttle too early, the tail end of these things will take you for a little tango out in the grass.
And Blade Wolf goes smoothly up the inside and holds on to the position then as...
As here, Pingu is on the final lap. This will be It's the last race for position here. And this
Definitely
race
will be, and
is-
it looks like there's still a good 4-second gap between Pingu and Snooty. And it seems that
so
Caffey's backed off a bit as well.
unless Pingu has a sudden heart attack, he's sure to win this one.
Where is he at the moment? Let's see where our current champion is. He's actually caught up to one of the back markers. I don't know how you can do that in a 20-minute race, but needless to say,
it is Brands Hatch.
needless to say, he's certainly done it. Who is that? That is car number 22. That is Seppi. Car number 22, which is Seppi. She moves over, lets Pingu through very smoothly indeed. And here he comes then through the final couple of corners to end this 20-minute race. So any car that crosses the line now, that is their race finished. But here we go, around onto the start-finish straight comes Pingu, and over the line he goes to take the sprint
across
race.
the line for race 1. Winner, distinct _ Pingu.
Followed very closely by Snooty, and here we go, coming across the line in P3 is Caffey. Grim will finish in P4.
Oh, what happened to Jinx?
Jinx ended up getting taken by leftism, however, and Nick as well, so there must have been an altercation there.
Yeah, because Jinx was ahead of Grim for a while there when we were watching the rest of the field. Looks like he or she fell back down to 8th. Wonder what happened there.
There we go, so it's leftism in 7th, Jinx in 8th, Tyen held on to P9, Pally took the final top 10 position, Saber finishes in P11, Deeds takes P12, Joker comes home in P13, Jamie across the line in P14, Blade Wolf
Steffi crosses the line, gets P19.
Blade Wolf took P15 then, so he must have overtaken Bracken as well as Skylar. There we go, Dipping Sauce comes home in P18. And as we say, Sephi in 19, Shocks in P20, the last of the finishers.
For race 1, class winners got distinct for the pros, Grim for the silvers, and Skylar for the yams.
Not bad so far, and we will be right back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Apologies for the delay on that one, but we are now back and live and running as the drivers get into the final few minutes or minute, excuse me, of practice.
Yep. Looks like most have stayed in the pits for the practice, probably taking breaks, getting water, going to the bathroom, etc. Only had 7 people out putting times in for practice.
The good thing is about this as well is it allows the drivers just 10 minutes to warm up again if they do want to. But nevertheless, when the grid joins back on the start-finish straight, we are going to have the reverse grid function working.
Always fun when your back markers become leaders and leaders become back markers. Makes for interesting racing.
Certainly make for a very interesting turn 1.
Indeed.
And I think as well we have everyone, and we've got one more it seems. And we've got Nate. Car number 131 Nate has managed to join us. Oh. I spoke a bit too soon there. He's not joined us. He nearly joined us.
Close but no cigar.
Hopefully he will make it in. Be good to see him out on track again tonight.
Yep, yeah, he has a minute and a half. That's the...
Oh. Well then, needless to say, just going to go in and have a look at it anyway. There may be time for him to join, there may not, but here we go. Here's your reverse grid function then. So whether or not she wants to be, she is P1. It is Sarah, car number 604. Cameras number 77 takes P2. There's a car there without a number missing, but that will be Danny. We know his number is car number 44. Along with Shocks, who's in P4. Seffi will be in P5. Car number 38, Dip, will be in P6. Car number 660 is Skylar. She takes P7 this race, along with Bracken, who takes P8 next to her. P9 is Blade Wolf this time. And the final top 10 position taken up by Jamie in car number 303. Which means getting to the back of the grid in P11, it's Joker, car number 62. P12 is car number 757, that's Deeds. 523 is car number 523 in P13. And it is Ty and Fox. No, it's not. It's Saber Kitsune. Directly behind him is Ty and Fox, car number 55, that's P15. However, P14 is car number 71, which is Pally. Coming down to P16, it is Jinx. Car number 333. We can see again the numbers not missing there, but we know Jinx is 333. Grim Lilith, who finished in P4 last race, takes up P20 this time. Followed by car number 69, Wushel, will take P20. Hang on a minute. What's going on there? Oh, I got my car numbers mixed up. Car number 225 is Leftism, who takes P20. P17, excuse me. Wushel takes P18. There we go. We're getting it back again. P19 is Nick. It's right there on my left in front of me. P20 is Grim. There he is. P20 is Grim.
30 seconds.
21 is Caffey in car number 992. Crash test vehicle caution. Excellent.
Seconds.
Snooty will be in P22. And poor Pingu, who finished all the way at the front of the grid, starts all the way at the back of the
10
grid
seconds.
as we go into the second race.
Yep, let's see if he can take this fire and get his way back up to the front. Would be a interesting feat. As the cars start taking off here for the out lap.
Oh, So here we go then. It's Sarah that leads the warm-up lap this time round. Car number 604. Nope. She's come to a bit of a stop there. There we go. She's going again. There we go. She's going again. I'm wondering if she stalled slightly maybe, but nevertheless her and Cameras come side by side, one with one another. Danny could potentially see Danny take a bit of a mad drive for P1. He's the fastest out of the three of them at the moment.
Yeah, especially being the lone pro up there after having a off in the first race.
I think he crashed and he took damage and then ended up being towed to the pits. So unfortunate but fortunate for him. Then he starts in P3 for now.
If he can make a mad dash for first place here at the start of this race and see if he can use the wall of silver and AM drivers behind him to try to hold off any other pros who make their way up the pack through the rest of the race.
This will be a more difficult race for all of the drivers, as there's an extra 10 minutes of this one. This is our feature race as such, the reverse grid feature race. All drivers have 30 minutes to get as far as they can up the grid, with Sarah getting the chance to defend P1, maybe make up some serious points in M class. Oof, excuse me. Where are we at the moment? We are coming on to...
Just about coming up to Clark here. About to get race 2 underway as everyone lines up double file. I think I'll keep an eye on Danny here in the beginning. See what the lone pro in a sea of AMs does to start the race.
Here we go, they come again onto the start-finish line. The lights will go green any minute and it'll be down to Sarah to see how far she can pull away from the rest of the pack as we lead into race 2 any minute now.
And away we go. Danny making a mad dash already in second on Sarah's rear. Fainting to the outside on Sarah on turn 1, getting right on her bumper. Taking a outside line. Sarah's trying to stay on the inside. He takes the outside to take the inside on and take P1 in 2 corners. Oh,
Nope.
looks like we had
That's a shame. Off she goes, along with
there's
Cameras.
a
Seffi.
lot of people going off in the back.
Something happened out the back there. That was very
chaos
much
in the back.
that was chaos at the back
near
there.
the back of the grid.
Needless to say, some of them have got going. Pingu is beginning to push up already. He's got to be a little bit patient.
He's 15th right now at the moment.
See what he can do. Bracken's moved to overtake Seffi. So a few of the cars taking total advantage then. Danny now holds P1. Let's see, Danny now holds P1 and he's immediately beginning to open the gap up to Dip. But Dip has got a strong gap to P3 as well.
It looks like they knocked the AMs out of the way early. The highest AM up we have is Seffi in 7th.
And she'll be holding off Skylar as well, who
with left, who's making a move on the inside right now and takes him right on the inside, following the teammate down the hill, up Pilgrim's Rise into Druid. Yeah,
it is Druids. That's right.
Seffi goes wide. The left takes on the inside.
Oof! But moves to immediately cut off Ty in there. That was strong defensive moves.
Which is causing some slowdown and letting left get a gap between him and Seffi.
Ty and Fox makes it through. Nick gives her a bit of a bump, but it's allowed Grim Lilith to push through as well. Nick not very happy there as he gives Seffi a bit of a flash, but it's RB locking out the grid in front of them at the moment.
Bracken is making some leeway on Deeds here, and
he's certainly moving to close the gap. They're
Jinx looks to be right on Blade's tail going into this corner. It's a left-hander.
And we've had another accident at the back then as well. It's Snooty, and that looks like Wusho might have had a bit of a coming together. Snooty goes back to the pits. Cameras is having a horrible time at the moment. Oh dear. That's Cameras as well. The 2KM cars move to get competitive with one another, but Sarah has in fact
and there's the
come off.
battle for third right now. Jinx just passes Blade to take third on Druid.
Very nice inside move round Druids there as well. Holds it beautifully for the corner. It seems that Bracken's coming back at Deeds after Deeds has taken the position.
Riding right on Deeds. Looks like we have a lot more fighting at the front of this race than we did previous race. Or most of the fighting was mid-pack.
Certainly have
Bracken
done.
slides a little bit, giving Deeds just about a 0.1 second relief there with left. Now looking to pass Bracken after that slight mistake he made. Great defense by Bracken. Deeds goes off, line Bracken in left to go right past as they draft each other pretty much.
Continue to fight it through into the Dingledale section. Deeds has been left behind there to fall victim to Ty and Fox. If Ty and Fox can just keep pushing.
Looks like Jinx at this point is starting to get a gap on Blade. Looks like.
Let's see what's going on in the back here. Where's our car?
Looks like Danny and Dipping Sauce are getting closer and closer. Dipping just at a slightly faster lap than Danny just completed there and takes the second lead he had down to a 0.6, 0.7 lead.
Seems that Wusho's coming to the pits as well. Hopefully not to retire for the rest of the race. It's only been 5 minutes. We can see our leader of the last race, Pingu, looking again to make his way up the pack. It's Saber that's the next target.
Looks like Pingu's going to take him here on the inside. The Saber just goes to the outside and lets Pingu through. Pingu currently holding the best lap of the race so far.
We've had another off just behind them. It's Joker that's come off. That's a shame. It's down into the hairpin there. So next up to take Joker would be Pally. Oh, Joker running a little bit wide again. That's a shame. Hopefully he does continue to keep going. He might pit and repair the damage. Meanwhile, Pingu has managed to catch. And take Saber. But at the moment, there's a battle going on between Ty and Fox and Bracken. There we can see Ty and Fox moves up the inside onto the start-finish straight. Just behind Bracken, you've also got Deeds, Grim, and Nick all fighting one another for position as we head into turn 1. There goes Grim up the inside into Druids, taking Nick and Deeds.
Getting all those positions, trying to catch up to Bracken and Ty in here. Oh, Bracken has a bit of a drift. Bracken goes off. Grim passes him there. Up to chase Ty and Fox now.
And Deeds, it seems like Deeds and Pingu go side by side, and it's Pingu that gains the advantage out of that corner. Pingu's still got a lot of work to do, but he's back in the top 10 at least, so well done him so far. This train of 4 cars are definitely not letting each other get away from one another now.
Looking up the grid, looks like once they can get past left at 5th, there's a good gap between Blade, Jinx, Dipping, and Danny, who are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th respectively.
Oh, and Bracken's off. Bracken's lost it down on the Dingledale sector. And Bracken comes into the pits as well. That's allowed a lot of cars past him. One car has in fact left the race completely, which is a shame. We don't like losing races here. Nevertheless, Danny is 1.7 seconds ahead of Dip. With Jinx 6 seconds off, but being caught up to ever so slowly by Blade Wolf. Blade Wolf holding P4. Much better outcome for Blade Wolf this race. Oh, we just got it there. Pingu moves to take Nick on. Nick's not giving that position up easily though, but Pingu's going potentially for a switchback as we come into the open left hairpin.
Well, they have Grim in front of them because they want to try to hold both of them off.
Just behind them we have Dietz and Saber going toe to toe as well. Car number 757 and 523.
And that rounds off the top 11 with then a 5-second gap to the next position, 12 being Calf, who's looks like pretty much in a race of their own. 5 seconds to 11th in front, 7.5 to 13th behind. That looks like to be the middle of the pack there. Sabres slowly getting on Dietz's rear end here in 11th, battling for 10th.
That's it. 21 minutes left of this race, and Deeds holds the final top 10 position as Pingu tries again to take Nick on. Nick's done very well to hold off against Pingu, but we all know it's only going to be a matter of time before Pingu finds his way through. Tyan Fox takes the fastest lap of the race at the moment.
Looks like left is picking around Blade right now. A battle for 4th.
Very much closing the gap ever so surely to Blade Wolf, bit by bit, biding his time, waiting for Blade Wolf maybe to make a bit of a mistake or to get a good exit out the corner, which he has done there.
Yeah, it looks like Blade is breaking him maybe a bit early, and Left is taking advantage of it from what I'm seeing here, following Left's car at the moment, watching them battle.
Certainly stick with these two for a bit. There's a lot of other races going on.
There's an off right
at
there.
The moment. That was an off. Who was that? That was... It's not showing it for some reason. That might have been Sarah that was off. She's retired to the pits now.
Yeah,
Nevertheless, though...
Looked like her paint job. Oh, Left is going for an outside move on Blade into Clark. Switches it back, ooh, gets a bit squirrely and actually loses the position to Tyan Fox.
Fantastic move from Tyan Fox to be there to collect, to be ready to collect the position immediately.
Yep, now he goes right on the Blade's rear.
And Nick, Pingu has moved to take Nick then, so...
Tyan takes Blade going into Druids.
Oh, bit of a touch there from Leftism, but they do remain safe there. Look at how much Leftism closes the gap on Blade coming out that corner.
He wants to get past Blade and get back in front of Tyan Fox.
And Deeds has lost it just after Druid's section. That's a shame for Deeds. He's got work to do, but he's got 18 minutes to do it in. Caffey holds the fastest lap now at a 1:26.3.
Evan and Silva looks like Dipping Sauce is slowly clawing away at Danny. His lead's only down, is up to only a 0.7 now instead of a 1.7 as we saw about 5 minutes ago.
I wonder if that's because Danny maybe made a mistake, or is Dipping just suddenly switched it on and decided to immediately go for it.
It looks like they're about matching each other's pace between from 0.7 to a second off in front of each other right now. We'll see if any mistakes happen later in the race that may change this, but for now it looks like those two are staying steady put. Jinx is practically alone in 3rd place.
And as we saw just there on the final corner, Leftism got a bit squirrely coming out the corner and has now lost the position to both Grim and Pingu as they fight for
Pingu,
P6.
who started in the back, already up to P7.
P7 already. That lad is on one tonight.
With 17 minutes still left to go. Follows Grim to a bit of a wide line there. Raw right on board with Pingo for a minute or two. See how he does this lap.
Oh, sorry, that is Grim. Let's have a look at Pingu. Oh, there we go.
Ooh,
So
Pingo
it
is going to make a move on Grim.
Oh, this could possibly get messy. It just...
Ooh. Grim keeps his position there.
Very well held from Grim. Pingu is going to have to again plan another attack on him. Just look at how much Pingu is fighting that car.
Any driver would be out here. These cars are a handful of drive at the speed that these chaps are able to take them. They're fighting it the whole way. It's like the blade is holding up from a bit, which lets Pingu take a look at the inside. And Trim quickly slides back down to defend.
See what Pingu can do in turn one. Nope, he's going to take his time and just let turn one happen.
Back off there. Get a good drive off the bottom. Blade holds Grim up just enough where he kind of drifts there. Ooh,
oh, and Pingu loses it as well. Leftism loses it as well, and Nick gets cleanly through. But Leftism's immediately back onto Nick.
Blade up there playing excellent defense, not letting any of these people pass, having them go to his pace. That's how you want to defend.
Be interesting to see if Bleed Wolf can open up the gap whilst these two fight one another for position. Pingu is not letting go of Grim, as we can see there.
Yeah, right on this rear going into the corner here. And every time Grim gets away, he just runs into Blades. So it's been an interesting three-car battle here.
I wonder whether
gets a bit wide there.
And here goes Grim.
Now.
Here goes Grim, maybe looking to make a move on Blade Wolf.
Blade defending for his life. Been defending these guys for 7 minutes now. We've been watching. Only a bit of gap on Pingu. Had a slight mistake to cost him some time. Quickly catches back up as Blade breaks everyone down into the first
goes
corner.
up the inside of the Druids.
Grim.
Goodness gracious me, very cleanly through Druids, and Nick moves up on the inside of Grim as well, but doesn't manage to make it stick, so Grim does at least keep a position.
Wonder if that was just a bit being tired there from over-attacking. Newbie Nick there takes a massive stop. How he massive skill to not hit anybody there somehow.
Very well held by Nick, and he moves to get taken by Saber. Saber happy to make up a position there. Just up ahead, it is Pingu that has taken Grim, so now Blade Wolf has got to defend from Pingu. Look how hard Pingu is driving now.
And look how Blade's been defending against. He defended Grim right off, and let's see what he does to Pingu here. Pingu's trying for the outside. Blade shuts the door.
I thought Pingu was going to go for a switchback with how wide he seemed to be aiming for the corner there. Yeah, Grim looks to go like on the inside of Pingu as well.
And them fighting, Grim's caught right back up. We'll go check on the leader for just a second, see how that's going. Yeah, looks like Danny's grabbing another second on dipping sauce. That battle is pretty much just a try there. Now back to the action.
Here we go.
Grim here.
Good move from
back
Pingu.
Marker to try to get out. Using the back marker, gets around everybody there, and Blade goes off.
Oh dearie me, and Pingu goes off as well. Pingu up to P5. That's unfortunate.
That's a shame for Blade after all that defending. Good driving out there though.
It's unfortunate that they got cut off there by the back marker, but now Pingu is gone again, so he's got P4, just 2.5 seconds ahead of him. That's Ty and Fox. What's going on at the back? Oh,
Saber and Nick or who?
oh, and there goes Shocks. He's lost it, so
He tried to get out of the way. Yeah, they have to work to get around you, bud. Don't let them push you off into the grass.
hopefully hopefully that wasn't the case at all, and that would be a sad thing to hear.
I think he's new. I think he was just a bit frightened, as new drivers usually are, when you're a back marker trying to get out of the way of the faster drivers. I know I made mistakes like that when I was new.
Especially on a tighter track like this as well.
Yep. Always thing to remember, advice for new drivers out there, that when you're blue flag, they do have to pass you cleanly. You can stay on the track, stay on your racing line.
Let's have a look at who else is having to go slightly further down the grid. We've got Deeds, who's racing Jamie for P13.
Keying on them for a moment as they come off of Clark's down the main straight here. Deeds going for an outside, might switch back it into the corner here. Jamie holds the line, keeps him back. Deeds goes for another outside move, maybe trying to switch back off of Druids here and get the inside line. That's what he's trying, but Jamie shuts the door, staying promptly in the middle of the track. On a tighter track like this, staying in the middle is a really good defensive move.
Fantastic defensive moves from Jamie. There, we'll come back to them in a bit. Slightly further up the grids, it looks like leftism was coming under attack from Pally. Then as he moves to close the gap, 0.2 seconds between them now.
And with a nice purple and gold Porsche, which were ironically my high school colors.
Very nice livery at this as well. And someone...
I think he got more speed off there, taking left on the outside into Clark to see if he can get him. Left hits the inside, which gives him more room.
Very close together now as they come through to turn 1 together. Seems that Shocks has gone off again.
It's like left, it's a bit of a drift, and Palikui here takes a nice drive up in the Druids right past them, but left is going to peek right back on the inside, try to get his position back, but does not. Still battling very closely here.
Look at the gap between them as they come through that corner. That is very well managed by both drivers. It looks like
Left's already trying to make moves back to get the position back and want to get in the top 10. So Pally here speeds away down the straight, getting about a half second on him there.
Let's see what's going on. Again, slightly up ahead. Saber Kitsune is now coming under scrutiny from Nick. And Nick's just 0.3 seconds. Well, he was just 0.3 seconds off. Unfortunately, he went a little bit wide there. So behind Nick
Saber
will be
is chasing
Cappy.
Grim.
I thought Caffey was closing the gap a little bit there to Nick, but that's not the case. It is very much a race between Grim and Saber and Nick now at the moment.
And then taking a quick look up front, looks like Danny is getting another about half second on Dipping Sauce. That race looks to still be about the same for 1 and 2, with Jinx still pretty much. He was by himself in 3, but now it looks like Ty and Fox has caught up to about a second and a half behind him. With 8.5 left to go here, pretty much.
I imagine Ty and Fox looked at
development there in a couple minutes.
I imagine Ty and Fox looked at his rear view mirror and saw Pingu was behind him and decided, oh my gosh, now I have to go for it. He's closed the gap to Jinx, as you said. So he's now 1 point.
Yeah, when that gap previously, when we checked about 10 minutes ago, it was like 7 seconds. So this is the first time our race Jinx has had someone pretty close to him. So let's see how that goes.
It seems that Grim has moved to take Saber as well. So now Saber needs to catch up with Grim, who has a bit of a slide coming out there. So allowed Saber to catch up a little bit. Meanwhile, just behind them, we've got Nick, who will be looking to take a position as well. I nearly lost my teeth saying that. Looking to
back
take a
a few,
position
like-
as well, baby.
Hey?
Put my teeth in and try again in a minute when some more action happens. What else is going on up the grid? So we've got Ty and Fox, who's about a second off of Jinx, but Pingu has closed the gap to Ty and Fox by a whole second now. It's only been a couple of minutes. There's 7 minutes left of this race so far.
Danny so for unimpeded coming up to lap traffic.
It is. I can't quite make out who that might be ahead of it. Is that Shocks, maybe?
It is Skylar in front of Danny at the moment.
Skylar Vixen at the moment, and she is running in P16.
16. Gap now 2.5 seconds between Danny and Dipping Sauce, seeming to grow by a half second every few laps we look in on these two. So, barring any crazy accidents with the lap traffic here, Danny might run away with this second race.
Let's have a look at our race leader. Let's have a look at him. Where is he? There he is. He's coming up to traffic. Car number 44.
Here, coming up to number 660, Skylar Vixen.
Look at that. He's not got a single bit of damage on his car. He's just raced his race. He's kept it clean.
He gunned past the AMs that basically turned 2 in the first lap, and he's been in first place ever since.
Been a fantastic race for Danny. He now lets Skylar know that he's there, and Skylar moves over very patiently, letting him pass.
Got a bit of a draft, getting another second on second place Dipping Sauce. So Danny just keeps calm and drives the rest of his race. He's probably going to take this one.
I can definitely say so. I wonder if, with Dip catching a little bit again now, I wonder if Dip will use the same sort of draft experience that he got from Skylar. That Danny got from Skylar, excuse me, to maybe pull a second back. It looks like they'll be on top of Skylar by the start-finish straight, unless Skylar moves over sometime soon.
And Ty and Fox is slowly closing in on Jinx behind them.
Let's have a look at those two. It's definitely a closing gap. Jinx must know by now that he's only got 5 minutes left of the race.
He's probably thinking, I've held third this long, he's not going to give it up so easily at this point.
Absolutely not, and why would you? There's points in it for every driver who finishes in the top 10 tonight, reverse grid or not.
Then, not too far behind them, Pingu will look for a move. If those two tie up battling each other, Pingu will be there to pounce. He's a fast driver.
And I think he knows that as well. He knows it. Oh, good catch by Pingu. He knows he's got 4 minutes left. He knows there's two cars beginning to fight up just slightly ahead. And it's Dip who's lost it. Oh no, Skylar's lost it. I wonder what happened there.
No draft for Dip. That means Danny is
gone.
Danny now is he's over 10 seconds in front of Dip at this point. He's in the traffic. He is taking this race. Let's watch the battles elsewhere in the grid. Well, we congratulate Danny on a race well done, but who knows? He could mess up in 4 minutes. Good old commentator's drinks. Better look out, Danny.
Seems like, I think what happened there is Dip lost some time trying to take over Skylar. We're not sure how, but is now 7 seconds off of Danny, and now comes up to another back marker on the start-finish straight.
Right up his way, but then Danny himself is catching up to more back markers. So it looks like he's about a couple seconds off of Safi. I'll probably pass her by the end of the lap. I'm going to bet that. And now Jinx is coming up the traffic. Well, this mess him up in third place to give Ty and Fox an opportunity to pass.
Shock's taking a good wide line through Druids there. He knows he doesn't want to get in the way of these two. They're still fighting one another now. Ty and Fox is again a little bit off, but still working to close the gap. Who else is... We have Saber and Nick beginning to fight harder as well, with Kathy looking at potentially making up positions from these two.
Take a gander throughout the grid. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. Deeds and Jamie are still battling. That looks to be just about settled though. Blade Wolf is practically by himself in 12th. Same for Left in 11th. And Pally in 10th. And we get back up to the, looks like Calf is taking Nick here. Oop, never mind. Nick almost goes off, causing Coffee to break, and Nick keeps his position.
Just watching Deeds take on Jamie a little bit more, but needless to say, Jamie's done very well to hold off the position with a battered car with 2 minutes left of the race. We're going to go back up to the race you were watching between Caffey and Nick. Still very much on between these two.
While you watch that, I'll go back up and see if there's any progress with Time and Jinx. Looks to be just about the same, but they are coming up to... They're actually catching dipping sauce at this point, so we might have an interesting three-car battle in the last minute here for second, third, and fourth.
Very much so, but if Dip can hold off, that's a P2 in a race.
Higher than I ever got, that's for sure.
P1 in Silver Class though as well, and finishing ahead of some of the pros. I mean, granted, obviously it was a reverse grid, the pros started at the back. However, he's done very well to hold on to the position that he's in. Why is there a... Oh, no, never mind. Suddenly the broadcast tool said everyone was on a yellow flag, and I was going to be like, has there been that bad an accident? But there hasn't. Just hold on, internet. We've only got a minute left. Let's see.
Looks like the last lap here. So in the main battle we have, Time, Fox, and Jinx for third. Let's see if anything happens here. Only I do have lap traffic ahead. Don't know if they'll catch him in this lap.
The dipping sauce has caught up with Seffi. Seffi's being flagged. She's looking for somewhere to move to. Where does she go?
Not able to get past.
Look at poor Seffi. Where does she go? She gets bumped by Dip. All she needs to do is lift at this point. She just needs to lift. Never mind. Needless to say, Dip got by. But there's two other cars looking to get past Seffi. Again,
Yep,
all she's going to do is lift.
Just lift. Let them go.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle. That's going to definitely frighten Ty and Fox, but they do get by. Woof.
Ty, as I can see, is on the throttle, trying to do anything to get Jenkins in this last lap. At this point, Danny is coming around the next to last corner.
We're going to stay on board with him, so there's Wusho going like slow.
Wusho slowed, so she doesn't have to do another lap. Respect. Feel you.
Very much so. We've all been there, but here he is. Nevertheless, it's Danny that comes home in P1 after race 2.
The line. And then we got...
And it will be Dip in P2. Jinx and Tyan are right up to it, going across the line, but it is like Jinx that finishes.
P3, Tyan in P4.
And Pingu brings it home for P5. Very respectable from Pingu.
Grimblitz comes across in P6 now. And ooh, Calf with Nick right behind him for 7th and 8th, and Saber behind them as well for 9th.
Saber as well. What a close finish. That was a lot of words
to say in a short amount of time.
And Pally brings home the final top 10 position then. So Leftism will come in at 11th. Here's Blade Wolf in P12. Race of his own again, but needless to say, P12. That car has definitely taken a beating, but across the line he comes.
Followed not too far behind by Jamie in P13, coming up the cross the line, followed by Deeds and Seffi's a bit behind. But already finished.
What's going on there? Hold on. Oh, never mind. We don't get to see the rest of the finishers because the server disconnected. Well, I guess that's it then.
Yeah, so of course I said no.
Well, needless to say, that is going to bring us to time then. So, and that is unfortunately the end of the night then for Simufur.
Yep, been a good day. Probably have less racers next weekend, as it will be the weekend of Anthrocon.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
here in the
point.
States at least. I might be back. I do leave my hotel room on Sunday, and I live 10 minutes away, so I should be able to get home by time, but we'll see.
I
We'll
wonder
let
what
you
will
know.
happen, because I mean, you know, is it a hard choice to make? Do people want to come all the way home from a ferry convention, one of the biggest ferry conventions, to race at Nürburgring and a Porsche next week? I don't know, but we'll leave it
I don't
up
know.
to the
I don't even
the
know. I
drivers to
don't
make
even
that
know how
choice.
hungover I'll be to even commentate next week.
I'll certainly be here, and there will be another person in the commentator seat no matter what happens, hopefully. But needless to say, it is good night from me.
And good night from me.
Thank you very
Well,
much for watching, guys.
more like a good afternoon.
It was a good afternoon, wasn't it? Thanks very much,
Yes.
guys. See you next week.
Peace out, y'all.